An ex-offender took the fall for a deadly shooting in Louisiana and spent almost 30 years in prison. He refused to snitch on his close friend and says he has good reason why he was not cooperating with police. Law enforcement tells Fox 44's Reggie Marion the no snitching culture is preventing thousands of murder investigations from being solved.
I'm not talking.
The ultimate call for silence. Shh, shh, snitch, rat, stool pigeon, some of the names you're called for giving police incriminating information. Keeping your mouth shut is the code of the streets.
You get yourself killed. It goes back since I've been here, which is the 90s. You just didn't talk to the popo.
LSU criminologist Dr. Peter Sharp says there's a thick blue line between police and communities they serve. Lack of trust, fear, and the stigma of snitching all having an impact on putting suspects behind bars.
Low convictions, low reporting, poor contact in many cases with the police and the community. And as a result, we have these astronomical murder rates.
More than 9,000 murders remain unsolved in Louisiana since the 1980s, according to the Murder Accountability Project.
I knew who done the crime.
Curtis Davis knows who committed one of them. He says a history of shady practices by police forced him to remain quiet about a deadly shooting in Shreveport in 1990.
The police, most district attorneys' offices, and the whole American criminal justice system is fundamentally flawed. I believe that it was simply designed to marginalize black people. I believe that then, and I believe it now.
Davis was sentenced to life in Louisiana State Penitentiary for second-degree murder at 21 years old. He tells me he didn't pull the trigger, but admits being with the gunman. He refused to tell investigators anything.
The person that committed the crime was a very close person to me. So the betrayal would have been ridiculous. And I just was adamant that it wasn't me. And they're like, well, you know who done it. And I'm like, but that's your job too. Why would you know that I didn't do something and send me to prison for it?
But why wouldn't you tell them who did it to keep you from going to prison?
I believe that that's an ignoble stance.
Davis feels he was targeted because he was well known in the streets. Snitching would have put that person into what he calls a vindictive criminal justice system.
Every incident of being bullied that ever happened to me at the hands of a police officer. You know, I've been called more N-words and MFs and point more guns at me. I've never had a gun pointed at me by a street person. All of the violence that was inflicted on me in my entire life was meted out by law enforcement. How can I even send my worst enemy into that system and consider myself a real man?
For more than 2 decades, criminal justice reform advocates worked on Davis's case. He was released from Angola after 26 years, accepting a plea deal to a lesser charge and agreeing to not sue the state for wrongful conviction. The 53-year-old has never told anyone who committed the crime. The person who did it, is that person
still free?
The person is still free to this
Never
day?
got arrested.
Never got arrested.
Mm-hmm.
A wall of silence that's going to take some time for law enforcement to bring down in the communities they serve.
It's a system change, paradigm change.
Sergeant Bessie Smith says police can't do it alone.
Everyone's looking at law enforcement saying, well, you need to do something and you need to do community policing. We've been doing community policing since the 1970s. It's not a new concept. I would encourage the community to approach a police officer and say, could we sit down and talk? Could we have coffee? And hey, I got your back here in the neighborhood. I got your back here in this store because I know you're here trying to protect me. It can't just be the police doing everything. It's got to be the community as well.
Davis has no regrets for spending almost 3 decades in the pen.
God made my road for me.
That road leading him to become co-founder of Decarcerate Louisiana, a human rights organization pushing for better prison conditions and encouraging young people to stay out of trouble.
I wouldn't do anything that I can't sleep with. So don't do wrong. Don't involve yourself in it and stay on the right side of the tracks.
Reggie Marion, Fox 44 News.